You know, I love a good push transition with a whoosh just as much as the next person, but sometimes I like my transitions to have a little more razzle dazzle. Hi, I'm Halise. I'm a filmmaker and storyteller, and I'm going to show you 2 transitions you can use to spice up your videos, and you can do them both in Adobe Premiere Pro. Before I get into the tutorial though, make sure to check out the past 2 videos on this channel. Each of them are about incorporating different transitions into your editing workflow, and they've been really fun to produce. Thanks for letting me hang out here, Adobe. I really appreciate it. So today I'm going to show you how to create 2 transitions, the zoom in transition and the spin transition. Both of these transitions can be created in Adobe Premiere Pro using just adjustment layers and effects from the effects tab. So let's go ahead and do the zoom in transition first, but in order to get to Premiere Pro, we're gonna do a quick little spin together. So my first part here, part 1, is a nested clip that contains the me on the couch and then the me sitting in front. And then I also have the next shot, which is me sitting at my couch. So we are going to now recreate the push transition in between these 2 clips. So the first thing we're going to do to recreate this is we're going to add some adjustment layers. We're actually going to add 2. The way to create an adjustment layer is by going down to this little icon at the bottom, it's the new item icon, and then going to adjustment layer. Whenever you create a new adjustment layer, it's usually going to match the sequence settings are that you are currently active in. So usually you can just hit OK. Now we're going to take this adjustment layer and we're going to add it twice on top of the first transition cut that we have. So in between the 2 versions of me on the couch and then in front of you and the other me that's just at the couch. The bottom adjustment layer, what we're going to do to it is we're going to actually scoot it to where it starts and snaps right at the beginning of our second shot. If your adjustment layer does not snap, you just need to turn on snapping, which you can do by either hitting this little magnet icon at the top here, or by hitting the S key on your keyboard. That will enable snapping. So now we're gonna start actually building out the transition. So head over to Effects, type in Replicate. We're gonna grab it and drag it onto our bottom adjustment layer. And when we do that, the default is to have it replicate twice, essentially making it 2 times across and 2 times down. We wanna change that. So we're gonna go into our effects controls and we're gonna make it actually be 3 times. And when we do that, now we have it 9 times across the screen. Essentially what we're gonna do is mess around with everything to make it to be that we zoom back in to this main middle frame. That's the goal. We are now going to search for the mirror effect and we're actually gonna add it to this bottom adjustment layer 4 times. So what we're trying to do to create this zoom in effect, we're trying to essentially get to this middle one. Now, if we just zoomed in on what we have here, everyone would see that the thing's just replicated a whole bunch, right? So the mirroring effect, what we're now going to do is we're gonna get rid of the 4 corners of this middle frame. So that way people never quite know where it begins or where it ends. So with our top mirror effect selected, we're going to type in the reflection angle to be 90 degrees. And when we do that, you'll see some things change. We're going to take our y-axis and we're going to move it all the way down until we get rid of that bottom line and it disappears. So roughly there. Boom. Now essentially we're doing that again to get rid of the other 3 lines of the frame. So with our next mirror effect selected, we are now going to change that one to negative 90 degrees. So we're doing the top layer. And again, now we are going to move that until we get rid of that line. Right about there, it's gone. Okay, with the next one, with our third mirror effect, we're gonna set it to 180 as our angle. And then same thing, moving it over right there. And then our last one, we're gonna set it to 360. And then moving until we get rid of this side. All right, so we've done it. We've added our mirroring effect. Now we're moving on to the top adjustment layer. So with the top adjustment layer highlighted, we're gonna go into our effects tab and we are actually going to search, transform. So we're gonna pull the transform effect onto our top adjustment layer, and then we are going to hit right where the two clips meet, and we're gonna go 5 or 6 frames back to the left. We are going to now toggle on our scale under the transform effect in our effects controls tab, and then we're gonna have it toggled on at 100%. Now come right back to the middle, and then we're gonna go 5 or 6 frames into the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now from here, we're gonna create a new keyframe and change that to 300 to get us back to our main center frame. 2 things you need to remember to do if you're going to do this effect though, to get the desired look. You wanna make sure to unclick the use composition shutter angle. You don't want that on. You wanna create your own shutter angle. So let's go 300. Now we're gonna go in and we're gonna fudge with our keyframes in the scale just a little bit. So the first thing I wanna do is I wanna move my playhead back to where the 2 clips meet, where we want it to go from one clip to the other, and make sure the playhead is aligned there. Then I'm gonna go into the scale and I'm gonna start messing with the velocity of how we get from one parameter to the next. So what I'm gonna do is enable our brackets. You wanna make it to where the peak velocity happens more or less where you've placed your playhead, and that'll really sell the effect. Not bad. You know what makes everything better? A nice little whoosh. So we're gonna add a quick little whoosh sound effect in here, and let's play it back. But sometimes I like my transition. And there you go. Everything looks good. So go ahead and pause the video and take a lovely little screen grab of all of the parameters I did for the number of mirroring effects you need and replicate. For reference, I am working in a 4K timeline. Here is what it is for 1080p as well. You're welcome. We can easily adjust these things ever so slightly to replicate it again. For example, let's say we now want to zoom back out of me, back to the desk version of me. We're gonna Command-C, Control-C on a PC and paste it, okay? So we move our adjustment layer over because we now need it to be mirrored and replicated on the first clip, not the second clip, right? And then our top adjustment layer, instead of it going from 100 to 300, we need to flip it. It needs to go from 300 to 100. So all we need to do is make sure that it's never going back down in parameter. And all I did to do that was just adjust our bands a smidge. And now let's play it back and see what we got. And there you go. So I showed you how to zoom in. I've also showed you how to zoom out. I also spun us to get into Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm going to quickly show you now how to do that spin transition. Here we go. We need to now adjust our bottom adjustment layer to actually go the length and cover both frames. So we want to maintain our scale at 300. So we're going to turn off all of the keyframes we created, and we're going to make sure that our scale is just fixed at 300%. So that way, again, we are technically zoomed in to that middle frame that we created. Once more, I'm going to zoom back out so you can see it. Remember, we created this to be endless corners, right? So we want to keep it at 300. So right now we have our playhead right in the middle of these 2 frames. We're going to go back again, 5 or 6 frames or so. Perfect. And we're going to now go over to our rotation and toggle on our stopwatch there. Then we are going to go back to the center and go 5 or 6 frames again. Perfect. And toggle it on one more time. Now we want to create a full rotation revolution 360, which will then say 1 plus 0 degrees. There we go. We can always make it look a bit better. Now we're going to go into our rotation. And once again, we're going to move our playhead right to the center. And just as before, we're going to adjust the velocity to make it have its most epic part more or less where our playhead is. Now, one final thing. I want to nest this whole situation, and let's see if we can get one big push in. Making simple keyframes here. Let's go to like 115. Let's move our starting frames all the way to the beginning, ending frames all the way at the end. Let's see what we got. But sometimes I like my transitions to have a little more razzle dazzle. Ta-da! And there you have it, 2 transitions to add a little razzle-dazzle to your videos completely created in Adobe Premiere Pro. Y'all, I have had so much fun hanging out over here on this channel with you. I hope that I have provided some inspiration and food for thought to help you shift your perspective. Let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure you're subscribed to this channel because tutorials, tips, tricks are always coming out all the time. I know I sure am. Again, I'm Halise, endeavoring to persevere as always, and I'll see you when I see you.